welcome to the At Leisure podcast. This is a show about sports, video games, movies, and just basically the things we do with our leisure time. My name is Brett, and I'm here with Ashton, who just got back from vacation. How you doing, man? You feeling good? You rested up?
Doing good, man. Had a good weekend yesterday with football, man. Wasn't as many games, a lot of teams on bye, but always a good weekend when there's football on.
Absolutely. We have a shorter show for you today, as the college football slate, kind of like you referenced, is just a little weaker. And then we'll share our updated Power 5 conference championship predictions. So let's just jump into it with the Clemson-Syracuse game. Boy, we praised DJ Ugalele a bunch on this podcast for playing well, but mostly just not turning the ball over. And then he couldn't hang on to the ball.
I know.
2 interceptions, a fumble.
They tried their hardest, man. They tried their hardest to throw that game away yesterday. Syracuse just could not capitalize on it, man. So here, take the win, please.
Yeah. And it's like, man, now Clemson's going to make the dang playoffs, and this game should have knocked them out. So frustrating.
I know. No, man, I don't know. They look rough, but that being said, they've got like the most top 25 wins out of anybody. So, I mean, I don't know how good the ACC is as a whole. Really, they've played the toughest schedule so far, probably almost, It's like looking at kind of, I mean, depending on.
It just feels like they're not that good to me.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of.
When I watch them, they don't look like even a Bamba who has.
Yeah, no, you're right.
A loss,
Yeah, no, I'm with you. They've played the tough part of their schedule. Like, I will say that for them. Like, nobody else has played the tougher games, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like they've played the tough part of their
schedule is
conference,
more front than back.
Yeah, like they've played. I guess everybody. It's in the next 4 teams.
That's what
or whatever,
I mean.
Pretty
like
much.
they're going to make the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, they've played the best 4 teams or whatever in the conference. So I don't know. Maybe over these next games they can get something figured out. I don't know. Which I mean, really, yesterday was the opposite. Like you were saying, their offenses look good the past few weeks, and then defense hadn't, and then this week it was like turnover after turnover after turnover. So
yeah,
because like even once they put the backup in, it really wasn't much better. It was just like they just changed.
2 for 4 for 19
They just changed the game plan. It's like, whoa, we don't have to throw on these guys.
That's
okay.
Oh yeah, we'll just run the ball and stop them on defense because that's all we've been doing is stopping them. They haven't.
I mean,
you probably points on offense for the whole game.
You probably could have tried that with DJ too, but maybe not.
Exactly. And that drive that they scored with the quarterback in, it was literally just penalty.
I know. Yeah, it's like Syracuse just trying their hardest to lose that game.
To lose the game, it was like no one wanted it. Wanted it. It was entertaining, but in like this is bad football entertaining.
Yeah, it was like it was a good game, but it was also like just 3 and out, just like that or turnover, just over and over, back and forth. But
some pretty solid defense for sure, but it was just
yeah.
But Syracuse, good for them, like competing with Clemson at home. They look like a pretty legit team. I mean,
and I didn't think they'd be able to play with them. But it was actually they should have won the game. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything.
They didn't do anything to show that their record was fraudulent.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this is obviously they're on par with the ACC's best right now. So.
Which I guess they beat NC State the week before.
It just has to be. Yeah. Well, yeah, but NC State didn't have.
Yeah, no, that's the quarterback.
So everything that happens now with NC State, I'm like, well,
and that's what true.
I counted NC State as one of the best, and now I'm like, well, they might.
Well, and that's what, man. Syracuse, all they had to do was score in the second half. They had 21 at halftime. Like they just didn't. They didn't score the whole second half.
I know.
Oh, here's an interception. Go do something with it. Nah, it's good.
Yeah, God, you got to feel sick for Syracuse. Like. They're like, we should have won this game.
Yeah, like that's the game you needed.
Our defense played well enough to win this game.
Like, and that's how we needed Clemson.
It felt like they had control of it the whole game, and they just couldn't create any separation.
Yeah, because Clemson didn't have the lead till the very end, I guess. So yeah,
the Clemson survives and will probably be in the playoffs.
Survive in advance, man.
Next game, Ole Miss versus LSU, which was a surprise to me until I really dove into it. So, what do you think about this game?
I mean, I thought LSU would win this one, but I thought it might be a little closer than this. I'm with you on Ole Miss. Like they haven't really beaten. They beat Kentucky, but it is kind of iffy, And then besides that, though, I mean, like you were
again with the backup quarterbaks.
and it's like I thought LSU can play. I mean, they barely lost that first game. They should have won that game against Florida State.
Yeah, it's a fluky loss to Florida State.
And then other than that, they've only lost.
Any win is a win. But.
Yeah, and then other than that, they've only lost to Tennessee. So I mean, not a. Yeah. I thought they'd beat Ole Miss, but not like this. Like this game was never in doubt. Well, except for at the beginning. I mean, Ole Miss did jump out on them early. I think they were up 17 right off the bat, but LSU just after that just went on a rampage, man.
Yeah, LSU's offense, it's looked legit the last 2 games. Their defense is, but that's kind of how I felt about Ole Miss too. And then I looked at their schedule. I don't know if you've looked at their schedule, but they had played nobody to deserve the 7th overall ranking. Troy, Central Arkansas, Georgia Tech, Tulsa. Then they played Kentucky without their starting quarterback. Then Vanderbilt and Auburn. You put Texas or Tech in this, and they're gonna have the same record.
Yeah,
It's
that was just like
they hadn't beat anybody.
process by elimination. You haven't
Yeah.
lost yet, so I was like, take that 7th spot. You hadn't lost yet.
I had not paid enough attention to realize how
No, they
7th
hadn't.
overall
Yeah.
is highly overranked.
Yeah, well, just everybody else has lost, because besides the first 6 teams, and that's besides Bama, I guess everybody else has lost. So only 6 teams have not lost. So,
Yeah.
but you play that
We'll
weekend
see.
schedule.
I could see them.
You should
They still have
not have a lot.
They're going to have only played 2 ranked teams the entire season. Like,
Well,
they
that's
have
how
Alabama,
I
which is
think.
going to be a loss for them. But other than that, nobody else is going to be ranked.
Well, and
Like,
I think really, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I think that's how Georgia's schedule is too. I mean, besides a couple teams, they don't really not put
the
them on par
SEC
with Ole
acts
Miss,
like
but exactly.
they act like
No,
they run this gauntlet, and then they've got
that
a
power
schedule
that
like this.
well that SEC defense, and then Tennessee and
Yeah.
Bama put up 50 on each other. So yeah, okay, SEC defense, don't know about that. Maybe 10 years ago. Now,
Yeah.
And the
Just
best teams,
narrative up
they're
higher
top
stuff.
heavy every year. I mean, it's like the
Yes,
top
yeah,
3
for
teams
sure.
are awesome, and then it's like, but these other
Yeah.
teams, I mean, come on, it's like they're in the SEC,
I
so
just
they're
don't want
ranked.
to hear about this SEC gauntlet when this is
No,
your schedule. And
no,
Tech has yet
exactly.
to play a team that's not ranked.
Yeah,
It's like, what's going on?
exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm with you on that. Yeah, it's like they get that little, you got 3 losses. Hey, you're in the SEC. Yeah, we'll rank you.
Yeah, it must have been hard. Yeah.
Like South Carolina right now, they're ranked. And as much as a Spencer Rattler fan, South Carolina does not need to be ranked. They got the crab beat out of them by Georgia.
It's something, man. It's something. I would rank LSU. Is LSU ranked? I haven't
LSU
seen
is ranked again this week. I think
Okay.
they're in the top 20, so they
Because-
should be ranked.
I was going to say, we're talking Ole Miss for their schedule, but LSU's schedule is.
Well, yeah, and there's
definitely-
some teams that, like, I mean, LSU
better.
lost to Florida State by 1 point week 1. If they would have scheduled a cupcake, they'd only have 1 loss right now in Tennessee. So
right.
if they would have done that, they'd be the top 10 team right now. Yeah, I mean, it's not all teams, but some of them. So, play somebody.
Yeah, LSU had beaten Mississippi State, Auburn, now Ole Miss,
Mhm.
Florida, and it was at Florida too.
Yeah, and that's a big one. Yeah, because that's
Florida's
like
better.
like Utah's not
They're
bad,
at the
and they
swamp, they're
lost.
better.
Utah's not bad, and they lost to Florida. So like LSU, that's a
Yeah.
big. Like I would say LSU's better than Utah. Then what I mean, like so.
Yes.
So yeah,
Uh-huh.
which in turn they're better than a lot of the Pac-12 teams, if not all the Pac-12 teams. So I mean,
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a second. Like we could jump into that actually. The UCLA Oregon game. Boy, Oregon looking good after the Georgia game is not
Yeah.
great for the Pac-12.
well, and that's what as much as we're dogging the SEC. It's like, well,
Yeah.
Georgia beat y'all's best team by 50 points. So it's like,
It's like, how can you argue for a spot in the playoffs when your best team just gets
and then-
smoked like that in the beginning?
and then like depending on what USC does, Utah beat them, which lost to Florida, which LSU beat. So it's like,
Yes.
I don't know. And that's what at certain points, like, do we compare the amount of losses you get or who you lost to, and who you beat?
Right.
Because it's like,
Yes.
because like Florida, they've got 3 losses, but you look at their schedule, it's like they might should be ranked. They beat the number
yeah, they
15
played
team in the
hard.
nation. I mean,
They played
beat-
hard teams. Yeah.
they beat Utah. I mean, so it's like they haven't really lost to anybody. So
Yeah, not all schedules are created equal. That's why I'm so excited for the expanded playoffs. Like,
yeah. See
then
who
you,
else
you
will play.
have this conversation, but at the same time, you're like, I know this Pac-12 school's getting in, and they're getting a second chance.
Yeah.
Now
Like
it's
I
like,
know Oregon's
like
gonna get whooped by Georgia
as a
again.
voter, I would not be able to put Oregon
No,
in the
heck no.
playoffs
Well,
because
and that's
it's like,
what-
look at what you did
Yeah,
when you had a
didn't they?
chance.
Yeah, and that's why I'll be curious to see. I think the playoff rankings come out this week, the first one. So curious to see where
Yeah.
they've got them ranked because that's like I don't know, like in my rank, like my
Oregon's
rankings, I got
gonna
Oregon
win
at
out.
10, I think, because there's like they got 1 loss, but also it's like,
They're
I mean,
gonna win out. They have to play Utah. That's their only chance that they could lose. But
Yeah,
if they
exactly.
beat Utah, then and even if they lose to Utah, they will be in the Pac-12
Yeah,
championship.
they're in.
It's
I
like,
mean,
there's a
unless
good
they
chance that
just
they're
all of
gonna
a
be
sudden
the
lose the
Pac-12's
teams they shouldn't be
best
losing
team.
to. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, it depends on what everybody else does, I guess. And that's what's going to come down to at the end. It's like, well, this team has 1 loss and they're not a champion. Oregon is a champion,
Does
but,
every year. Yep.
but they got beat by 100 to Georgia. So it's like,
yeah. Like I can't put
is
that
Bo
name
Nix
out.
that guy? I don't know.
Bo Nix is that guy if you're playing at home.
Yeah,
Bo Nix
at home, man.
at
He's a Heisman
home-
Trophy winner.
At home, he's got 14 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. On the road, 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He just looks like a different quarterback.
No, at home, he's a Heisman candidate. I mean, he's
Yeah.
balling. But
I am a known Bo Nix hater, but he's played great since losing to Georgia.
yeah, I mean,
I
he's
mean, I gotta
stepped
give
it
him
up. I mean, maybe that's what he needed, Yeah, I remember why I got away. Why I got away from the SEC now. So
Yeah. Look at these Pac-12
uh,
defenses. We're all over the place on,
man.
on our SEC
Yeah,
talk.
you know
We're
what?
like,
Forget about
what
that
are they
SEC
bad?
hate. You know what? Forget about the
Yeah.
SEC.
But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. The winner of the Pac-12 is going to be. It's a fun conference in the sense of like who's going to win. Like there's parity, but at the same time, it feels like their ceiling is just lower than the ceilings of
Yeah,
some of
because
the
they've
other.
got.
Even I would even say the Big 12 ceiling is higher than some of these big
No, I'm with
Pac-12.
you. And the Pac-12, they've got kind of 4 teams at the top. I'd say UCLA, Utah, Oregon, USC are on a different level, and I guess Oregon State's doing good too. But I still wouldn't put them up
Yeah, I
there.
don't know about them. Yeah,
But then, well, that's like when I was looking at USC schedule. It's like they haven't played anybody. Like they legit
yeah,
haven't played anybody. So it's like, I don't know. And that's kind of they're the
and they have
one.
a loss.
Yeah, and they have lost, but they're the one I'd probably say is like they seem like a
The
threat though.
best.
Like
Yeah,
they could turn it
they
on
have
and
an
score on
offense
anybody.
full of
Yeah,
explosive
yeah,
playmakers.
and maybe Oregon can't. Maybe that week one was a fluke. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. We'll see. I guess they're gonna get the chance to prove it eventually. Maybe. So I don't know.
Talking about the Big 12, we got the TCU versus Kansas State game. Boy, hide your QBs, man. I think this is the 5th game in the row that TCU's knocked out the starting
I
quarterback.
know, and that's what. Well, and at first I was like, oh, here, Adrian Martinez, this guy's about to be ugly, and then Kansas State jumped out by like 10. I was like, oh, okay, maybe not.
Yeah,
I was like,
Howard
maybe the
filled in
opposite. Yeah,
admirably. It
yeah.
was
I was
like, oh,
like,
yeah, they're up 28-10
yeah.
in the second quarter.
Yeah, because I thought it was gonna be the opposite. I was like, oh, this game's over. Then I was like, oh, it might be over, but not the direction I thought it was gonna be. But
Yeah.
TCU though, they just keep scraping by. But yeah, you knock out the other team's quarterback, you probably should win. Hey, that's good. I mean, I guess it's a good strategy.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
you
Yeah,
can only
I mean,
play who's in front of you.
well, that's what Martinez. It was. I never saw what happened. Even the announcers were like, I don't know what the heck happened here.
Yeah, same. Just all of a sudden Howard was in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like we said, so K-State got up 28-10, and then they never scored again. TCU just won the turnover battle and steadily got their points, and the defense came up with timely stops. And Duggan and Johnston still look like a top duo in the country. Right now, it seems like for the Big 12, it's a dogfight every week. So you don't want to say that TCU is going to win out or anything, but they have the best chance to be in the.
No,
It almost feels like it's going to be TCU versus a 2-loss Big 12 team.
Yeah, because it becomes I don't know. You got like Oklahoma State, Kansas State. That's I think the next 2 right now. Like those are the 2 that
Right.
have 1 loss, and they still haven't played each other. So that'll probably. But
Mhm.
then anybody can
Beat
beat anybody in a
anybody
week.
else.
So I mean, Texas could jump right back up there too. Because I mean,
Yeah.
still got anybody. So I mean, TCU. I mean, they look good, but and now I was looking at the rankings. So 4 teams above them are guaranteed to lose by the end of the year because they all play each other. So
Yeah.
if they win out, they're in. Like there's no doubt about
Yeah.
it. If they went out there,
The playoffs.
so if TCU wins, they're in. Like
Maybe
there's
sweat. Like, how can we get TCU out
yeah,
of
it's like can
somebody beat
we
them, please?
can we cancel one of these games? Until we're
Yeah. They haven't
I don't
played
know.
Tech yet. They're not winning out, baby.
as
We're
a
gonna beat them.
as a Big 12 conference, do you kind of like let's let them win? Let's let them win this game to keep going on.
Yeah. Just to further rub it in Texas and OU's face too, like y'all leaving, but y'all aren't our best teams, Y'all
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
us.
The conference is kind of I don't know. Well, I guess TCU was supposed to be all right, but they
They were
are a
picked
lot better than I
7th.
thought they were going to be. Yeah.
They
Okay.
were picked
Okay.
7th.
7th. Okay. I
So
didn't
they
realize
weren't
that.
supposed to be that good.
Okay.
No.
Well, yeah.
It's crazy what they're doing. Sonny
Yeah.
Dykes, man, he's doing
Yeah.
work
I was
over there.
kind of
Big
skeptical on that one, to be
12's
honest.
new coach hires were great.
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
good.
I
Yeah,
think they've
I
all
agree
worked
with you.
out.
Well, that's what when you go down the line, they kind of like so. Kansas State's coach, similar to Kansas coach. I didn't realize Kansas State's coach was North Dakota State coach, like when Wentz was
Yeah.
there and all that. So he's won a bunch of championships at the D2 level.
Mhm.
Sonny Dykes was the one I was actually skeptical on. I was like, he did okay at SMU,
Same.
but not great.
Yeah, he
But
did okay.
He's doing good.
And it's not like an exciting hire. Like with Joey McGuire, it's like this is a new
Yeah,
coach.
so-
He's bringing in energy, but Dykes is kind of like,
Well, I was
But
like,
he's
and
been
Dykes
great.
he's been the head coach at Cal before. He was like, he did okay, but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, he's doing good.
So we'll just see what happens. I mean, they're gonna have one loss because they play Tech. So,
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm excited about that game, man. I think it's gonna be kind of more of a rivalry. There's been a lot of
should be
trash talk.
good, man.
Yeah, we can just dive into the games that we watched probably the most intently. So I'll go first with the Tech game. Man, we put the shellacking on West Virginia, and I was feeling good about the game for sure because it was at Tech, but they had just come off a win against Baylor, so I thought, hey, they're probably feeling themselves. They're a more confident team, but boy, we won in every phase of the game. Our offensive line played the best game that they've played probably in a long time. Definitely this season, the best game they've played. We ran the ball like over 100. One of our running backs over 100 yards, another one over 50 yards, and we had like 3 touchdowns there. And then Baron Morton is starting for us now, our freshman, and he looks good. I'm like, I wish we'd have started him from the beginning, but it's hard to say that. But he's playing amazing, and the thing he's doing that I love the most is he's just not turning the ball over. I love Donovan Smith, but that guy was a turnover machine. I don't know, some of that decision making. He gave up, I think, 2 pick sixes in back-to-back games. So it was like, you just can't do that. It kills your team. So it's exciting. It was an exciting win for the future. We beat them. Not at any point did it feel like West Virginia was going to win this game. And I feel like as a Tech fan, that never happens for us. So it was just a good time. And our defense, we had the worst turnover differential in the Big 12, and our defense had 4 turnovers this game. So it was just a complete beatdown and a lot of fun to watch. Did you watch any of it?
Yeah, West Virginia, man. I'm shocked on them. I thought they'd be good, but I thought they'd at least be competitive. Like with JT Daniel this year,
yes, I thought a
general,
quarterback would fix a lot of problems.
Which I mean, and with that being said, they beat Baylor last week. So I don't know. Not that we're not the biggest Baylor fans here, but I don't know. I thought West Virginia would at least be a little more competitive this year with JT Daniel. Or in my opinion, I realize they beat Baylor last week, but that's like the one team in the conference that's like they're probably not. It doesn't seem like it might be a game this week.
Yeah.
Like even with Oklahoma, it's like okay, this game might be a game this week. But
yeah.
But I don't know. Which they did beat Baylor, so like I said, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just the one team that seems like they're just not near as good.
I still would put them at the bottom, even though Iowa
Yeah,
State
no,
hasn't
I'm
won
with
a
you.
game yet. Iowa
Yeah,
State's
exactly.
defense just seems like a legit.
Yeah, and that's how I'm with
right?
you. Like West Virginia's the one team I'd have at the
anything.
bottom. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
They're the only team that doesn't scare me, in my opinion. If I've got them this week, it's like all right, that's the week.
Well, that's what I was saying. They did scare me a little bit after beating Baylor. I was like, okay,
yeah,
maybe
I'm surprised by that one. Yeah,
But-
exactly.
But no, we put it to them, so it was a lot of fun. And next week we play Baylor at home again.
All right.
So I think we got a good shot there as well. So it's an exciting time. I wish we'd have been able to play Barron from the beginning, because I think that we would have one less loss. I think we'd have won the NC State game, because we only lost that by 2 touchdowns, and Smith had turnovers and just didn't play very well. And it's like, if Barron was in, maybe that game goes differently. He played Oklahoma State real well, and we almost won that game. So I don't know. We'll see. But Big 12, it's a fun conference. I'll let you talk about the Texas Oklahoma State game.
Yeah, I mean, Big 12. Yeah, I mean, it's a week in and week out grind. This game, man. Texas,
all gas, no brakes.
We know how I feel about that if you listen to this podcast. So, but yeah, pretty much same. New week, same thing for Texas. So offense is rolling the first half. I think we put up 31 in the first half, if I remember correctly. It was, this game's gonna be a barn burner. Going at it. And I didn't know if Spencer Sanders was going to play or not, because he was kind of iffy going into this week. But whenever he plays, he gives them a chance, because I don't know he wins at least. He might not be the best quarterback, but he wins, and that's kind of what Oklahoma State does. They just win, I guess. It might not be pretty, but they're going to get the job done. But man, this game, they act like the wind was like 30 miles per hour almost on the field, so that kind of had a big impact on this game. So I guess I don't know. It seemed like throws were kind of all over the place. Yeah.
I was about to ask you how you felt about Quinn Ewers still.
Man, I don't know. Well, I don't know why we stopped running the ball in the second half.
No kidding.
But,
my gosh.
Bijan's averaging, I think, 11 yards per carry in the first half, and then
Just
forget about
hand the
that.
ball off.
I know, so easy, yeah, so complicated. But then I don't know, the receivers and Quinn just seem to be on the different pages this week. Like Worthy kept going, I don't know, he kept doing the wrong choice route. I don't know what was going on. It seemed like him and Ewers were on a different page when they're reading the coverage. So
QB rating was 47.
I saw that, man, and I don't know,
That's so bad.
I'm not one of those that thinks, we need to put Card in, because I've seen what can happen with that, and no, I'm good. But Quinn, I mean, and then the problem last night was like when Quinn did hit them, like they just drop it, or they run the wrong route or something.
Yeah.
Like that last interception bounced right off the tight end's hands.
Yes.
It's like I don't know what you want Quinn to do. When he does. Well, and then
he finally made a good throw, and
he hits Worthy in the end zone. Worthy turns the wrong way, or it's like I don't know. And then because like when he threw an interception, the coaches were going off on the receiver, not Quinn, because I guess they ran the wrong route. So I mean, he looked bad, but also it was like just him and the receiver seemed to be on the different
whole
page.
Offense.
Yeah, exactly. The whole
weird.
offense just seemed to be off. Yeah.
Other than Bijan, like y'all should have just kept running the ball. Running the ball.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, he's
y'all had a lead.
Yeah. And offense was rolling, man. Then it was all of a sudden like we can't even get a first down. No, it was just punt, punt, punt.
It's
So
just weird.
it was a frustrating game, but I'm used to it as a Texas fan being a frustrating game. But I mean, they barely lost to a top 10 team, so I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not a bad loss. But also, it's like we should have won that game. Like we had that game.
Yeah,
But
another blown lead.
I'm used to it by now. They said he's blown. He's talking about Sark five games on being up 10 points as a Texas coach. This is two. He's been there for 2
Jeez,
years.
jeez.
So being up 10 points, they've blown 5 games already under Sark. That's not good.
I mean, 2 of your 3 losses this year. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Were
And
you up on
then
Bama? I don't think so.
I
Y'all
don't think
never
I
up
don't
10
think
on
so.
Bama.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No,
so it was
I don't think
just
so.
Tech and Oklahoma State.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, same thing, different day.
And that makes the Big 12 race interesting too. Still, you got TCU like we said, but then it's Oklahoma State, K-State, and then after that, it's just tough to know.
Yeah, I think Tech and Texas have 3 losses, I think, and then that might be the only 2 or 3 losses. Can't remember.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's an interesting race. I guess I say 3 losses, two conference losses. My bad. I said
Right,
3.
right.
So I guess Kansas State and Oklahoma State right now. If everything stays the same, the winner of that one will be in the championship. But I'm sure one of them will drop a game, if not both of them. So with the way the Big 12's going so far,
I agree.
because week in and week out, you
Just
got to
never
come
know.
ready to play.
Got any other games you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I caught a few of the games. Let's see. I kind of flipped back and forth on the big games, talking about the higher rated games. There weren't really any rank versus rank games that we haven't talked about, but Tennessee looked good. They didn't really play anybody. Tennessee Martin. Ohio State killed Iowa. Penn State looked good in a nice bounce back game. I didn't know how they would look after losing to Michigan, but they kind of handled Minnesota. So maybe Penn State's better than I was thinking.
Is Minnesota good? Minnesota's not that good, right?
They've been okay so far this year, but not. I just mean they handled them though. It wasn't even in
Yeah.
doubt though. So other than that, there really wasn't a lot of ranked games this week. Wake Forest Bama bounced back nicely. So apparently Mississippi
Yeah,
State
that's
always
good
gets
they
the short end of the stick on that. Apparently they were saying that every time Bama loses, somehow they play Mississippi State after and just destroy them. So I feel kind of bad for Mississippi
Well,
State on that one. It's like, you're going to get the wrath
talking
on
about
this one,
new game, same script.
Yeah.
Losing 30-6.
But apparently, every time Bama loses, they play them. So as they said that's the first time anybody scored in Tuscaloosa since like 2013 or something. So,
what?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was true or not, but
That can't be true.
it might have been Mississippi State first time since they scored because I was like, there's no way.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Because I don't know if you saw that video going around of Saban going off with like 20 seconds left on the refs because they called a penalty on Bama to get Mississippi State into field goal range, like with 20 seconds left, and it's like 30-0. He's just going off on the ref. Play till the end, baby.
That guy's a menace. Just a menace. K-State Baylor, or not K-State, Kansas Baylor.
Kansas Baylor, yeah.
I thought Baylor was going to smoke Kansas, and I thought, crap, poor Kansas. They're not going to make a bowl game. They're going to lose the rest of their games.
It's over. Yeah.
And then they came back and made it a game. So I wish Daniels didn't get hurt because they're just a different team with Daniels at quarterback. Jason Bean's all right, but
he's not Daniels.
Poor Kansas. They're having this season that's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're playing good, man. Yeah.
And then you lose your quarterback, but like we've said, it's a thing going around.
Yeah, you play TCU. Watch out. Better get that max protection going.
All right. I guess, do you want to jump into like our conference predictions?
Yeah, let's get it. So ACC, the main ones you got, let's see. I think this one's pretty set in stone, probably on who the winner's going to be. But
yeah, I agree.
It could be. I guess something could happen. But I mean, you're kind of the winner of the ACC is Clemson, most likely. I mean, they've already beaten the next tier of teams. So unless somehow North Carolina beats them, they haven't played them, but North Carolina they lost to Notre Dame, so
it's not impressive. Their defense is just. I mean, their offense seems like it might be legit, but their defense is like it's just
and that's who's on the other side because all the teams Clemson's played. So every ACC team in the top 25 is on Clemson's side. They're all in the Atlantic. So Clemson, Syracuse, Wake Forest, NC State, Florida State, Louisville, they're all on the same side. And that's probably the best 6 teams in the conference. I mean, North Carolina only has 1 loss, like I said, but they haven't played anybody. So North Carolina looks like they'll come out of the other side because there's not really any competition there. Georgia Tech's in second right now, and they fired their coach already. So that shows you kind of what's going on over there. Pitt kind of went down the drain once Slovis went out.
Man, Pitt let me down. Let me
Talk about a
down.
big disappointment though, because their quarterback actually got hurt. But Miami, man, they haven't done anything.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
Miami
oh,
too.
dude, they're looking rough.
They look bad. They look bad. Makes we didn't talk about A&M. A&M and South
Yes,
Carolina.
Spencer Rattler, baby,
Oh, we should talk about them a little bit.
got South Carolina ranked.
South Carolina's
They're ranked. Maybe
ranked.
they're 25 now. I think
I
25,
don't.
24.
I mean, maybe they're not that bad, but
Remember that bold prediction, baby.
yeah.
Still time.
Well, still a chance, I guess, right? They could still.
Probably not. I think they lost to Georgia already pretty badly, so
Oh,
that's out the drain.
yeah.
But
That's the side that they would
need
be in too.
somebody to step up and beat Georgia.
Yeah. It's a weird year where the SEC East is better than the SEC West. Talk about disappointing seasons. You're talking about Miami, but A&M is the same way.
You think Jimbo's gonna make it?
Dude, I still do. They just cannot afford to fire that guy. They just
That
pay.
being that and I mean they just brought in the number 1 class, so I don't think you can fire him no matter how bad they
Who
are.
cares? Who cares? Honestly, I'd be like, look, I'm sick of all this talent and us losing to App State. You know, like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to figure stuff out eventually.
Quality loss.
They've given them. Quality loss. Yeah, they've given them a lot of time, and they'll have to give him at least another 4 years, I think. So.
Well, that's what like he's hung his hat on A&M as far as being there. They beat Bama, but okay, they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything.
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly.
Who freaking cares? You know?
They'll beat Bama, but Bama will still win the
Yeah. Who cares?
championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Their offense. He's gonna have to change
It's
their offense.
terrible, man.
He needs to get somebody else in.
I guess
And,
so,
like-
man. Yeah, because unless he's got Jameis Winston back there, his offense ain't doing nothing.
They have A-Chain, and he is fun to watch. He's always fun to watch. But other than that, it is just tough to watch A&M play football right now.
I know, man. That's what because it was a
Did
close
you see
loss
that?
yesterday.
The opening kickoff for
Yeah,
South Carolina was returned for a touchdown, and I was like, "Oh, buddy,
Oh, yeah.
they are in for it."
Oh man, yeah. It's I don't know, not looking good, but I'm with you. I don't think they can fire him. They're paying him way too much. I think his buyout right now is $80 million. So I mean, there's no shot.
It's an enormous amount that I
There's
can't
no
barely
shot.
comprehend.
If you want to fire me for $80 million, please.
And I want to blame King, the quarterback, because he came in and he's just been not very good. But like, they're just not putting him in a chance to succeed. And
Exactly.
if I was them, I would play their freshman quarterback. That's like who was like the number 1 recruit overall last year. I would just play him to see what he's got. See if he can.
That's
bring
what-
a spark.
At a certain point, let's throw all these young guys in
came
there.
in.
You know, let's throw all these
came
young guys in
in.
there and get after it.
Because King got hurt late in the game. It didn't look like he was doing anything crazy
Mhm.
to change the game. So we'll see if he gets a chance to start maybe next week. And they play Ole Miss, so
That's winnable.
it's very winnable. I don't get. I mean, Ole Miss is ranked 15 still, but like we've talked about, we'll see. But yeah, so we can go back to the ACC.
Yeah.
That's
So
kind of
yeah, no, a good little rant. It's all right.
aside,
Needed.
yeah.
All right, so ACC, who's your prediction? I think that one. I think we're probably unanimous on this. Is probably like the only one we're kind of like it's a definite.
A definite, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So
Definitely Clemson, but let's see who who we think
good.
they'll play.
they're gonna play. It looks like North Carolina probably is what I'm seeing.
You think so?
Yeah, because
North
looking at these
Carolina,
other
they still gotta,
looking at these other teams, man. Like so
yeah, they beat Duke.
they've beaten Duke, and I really don't see anybody else over there. It's a threat.
I mean, they play Pitt next, so I think Pitt could
it's-
beat them. Wake Forest, they play Wake Forest, but that's not on their side. Yeah,
which Pitt. I don't know because Pitt lost to Louisville, man, and Pitt lost to Georgia Tech.
yeah. Pitt's not great, but
But actually-
I don't think
Well, no,
North Carolina's that good either. So
No, I'm just saying, like I'm just saying, like
it's a
they stayed the
losable
same. Like Georgia Tech would even have the tiebreaker over Pitt. So fire your coach then make the championship. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
not an entertaining conference to be
No,
honest
because I
with
mean,
you.
if they had it split, you know, like because Syracuse, Wake Forest, Florida State, NC State, Louisville, I mean, those are all they could at least play with Clemson probably, but they're all on the same side. Like looking at the other side, so I, mean, I don't think any of these teams.
Super.
I mean, maybe North Carolina can score with them, make it an interesting game. Hopefully.
I doubt it. So yeah, I agree. I think Clemson will play North Carolina, and Clemson will handily beat them.
All right, so let's move on to what the Big 12. Or you want to save that one?
Let's go. Yeah, let's do Big 12 last, just because that's
All right.
our.
All right, so let's move on to the Big 10. We'll come back to the
Big
Big
10,
12. So Big 10, as of right now, here's the standing. So in the East, you've got Michigan and Ohio State at the top, and then Penn State's got 1 loss. Maryland's got 2 losses. So that's the 3 best teams are probably on the same side on that one. Now on the other side, the West, you've got Illinois with 1 loss, Purdue with 2 losses, then Nebraska with 2 losses. So Illinois and Purdue haven't played yet. So, but Purdue did get the crap beat on by Wisconsin yesterday. So that
Yeah,
kind
I've
of
I've not been on the Purdue train at
yeah.
all.
I think Illinois is probably going to get in by default on that one, but
Yeah.
that being said, that could change by the end of the year. So I'm not really sure on that side because like the better teams are on the other side.
I guess the question is do we think it's
Is it
Michigan or Ohio
Michigan or
State?
Ohio State? Because that's probably your winner right there.
Yeah.
Ohio State plays Penn State this week, so that's really the only team in the Big Ten that they're going to play. Probably, the kind of Maryland might can give them a
Uh-huh.
game, but Maryland did play with Michigan, so Maryland's okay. But I don't know. It'd probably be
Man,
I don't know.
I'm still down on the strength of this conference.
I'm not saying the conference as a whole is good, but I think Ohio State's legit. I
Because I
think.
feel like Ohio State and Michigan both could be. I think Ohio State's legit just because they are beating the crap out of
Yeah,
teams.
their
They
offense can
look
go, man. They're
really
good.
good.
They're good,
Yes.
and they got their best receiver back yesterday. So I think that's going to be a big jump for them. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm not,
I definitely think.
I'm gonna take Ohio State on this one because I'm still a little skeptical on
Same.
Michigan, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
They've looked okay too, but then I kind of go through the domino effect. Like they barely beat Maryland, which beat SMU by a
Yes.
touchdown. So it's like,
Yes.
are they
That's what I'm
really that
saying.
good?
Ohio State and Michigan, they just don't play other good teams. But when Ohio
You're-
State plays these other bad
Yeah,
teams,
they're
they
handling them.
dog
Yeah,
out of them. And Michigan is just
yeah, I'm
they
with
do
you. I'm with you.
sometimes. Sometimes they do, but not every time, like Ohio State's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'll take Ohio State in this one. I figure it's looking like they're going to play Illinois, but then again, that could be, it doesn't really matter. But the winner, Michigan and Ohio State, will be the champion, most likely.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that Michigan Ohio State game right before they play in the championship game. That's going to really prepare them for the playoff games. Whoever wins,
Yeah, you're
because
going to have
before
3
that,
games in a row
I
there.
just don't
Yeah.
feel. Yeah,
They,
before that, I'm like they're going to end up playing a good team and not be prepared because they've only played these bad teams.
yeah,
But
they
I feel
play, like I said, Penn State this week will be their toughest competition besides Michigan. So we'll see how they
yeah,
do in that one, but they should handle them probably.
yeah, I'd pick Ohio State also.
Yeah, and the Michigan one, it's a rivalry game, so I mean, you never know. I mean, Michigan beat them last
Yeah,
year, so I mean, it's
yeah.
anything can happen in that rivalry
Normally
game.
it feels like though. I feel like
Yeah,
Ohio
yeah.
State normally
Yeah,
always
usually
gets some
the well, yeah,
losses.
because Michigan, I think that was their first win in like 5 years at least
10
against them. So yeah,
years. Yeah.
it's been a while. So or at least since Harbaugh's been there, he hadn't beat them.
You want to go SEC or Pac-12 next?
What you want? No memory.
Let's go Pac-12.
Pac-12. All right. There's
Pretty fun
about
conference.
yeah, like we were saying earlier, there's about probably 4 quality teams in this, and Oregon. I think Oregon State and Washington aren't bad either. Maybe not Washington State, but not conference champion level though.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, you got mainly 4 contenders here. So you got Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Utah are probably your top 4. It's top heavy though. Like there's not.
Yes.
I don't think any of the teams below them are going to beat them. Washington, and Oregon State can be competitive probably, but
This
I don't know, I don't
conference
see
isn't
it.
split though, right? Like
That's what I.
the best teams are
It
going to play each
it
other.
actually it is split. I don't know why it's not showing that it's split on here because it's
It
not
is
showing
split?
it's not showing it's split right now. I think it's split. Yeah. Okay. So here's the breakdown. All right. So in the Pac-12 South, yeah, it's not showing it split for some reason on what we're looking at, but.
So the best teams aren't going to play each other?
No, I'm with you on it. For some
Oh,
reason, it's not
gosh.
showing that. So, all right. So here's a split. Well, it'll actually play out to where okay. So in the North, you've got in the North, the better teams are Oregon, Oregon State, and Washington State. So Oregon's going to come out of the North. So in the South is everybody else. So USC, UCLA, and Utah are all in the South. So it'll actually be the 2 best
Yeah,
teams
we
by
talked
the
about
end,
that.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, it's who's Oregon going to play? USC, UCLA, or Utah is the big question. Really, it might end up being a 3-way. It might be a 3-way tie for that one. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If USC beats
That's what I was
UCLA,
thinking,
that's
yeah.
kind of what I'm thinking. Because UCLA's beating Utah and Utah's beating USC. So it's really, does USC beat UCLA? Because if not, it's UCLA. Now, that being said, I mean, you could Oregon State, Washington State, and Washington are all games that you could lose if you have to play them. I think they can all
That's
beat you.
fun. So do we think it'll be Oregon USC?
Yeah, I'm gonna take USC on that one because Utah beat USC by one point. I think. Like I think USC will beat UCLA
Right.
by more than a point. I guess I'm gonna say I think USC will beat UCLA.
And I think so
That's
too,
a
just
tough one,
because
man. I think,
USC has a better offense.
in my
But
opinion, even though they lost to Utah, I just feel like USC's the biggest threat in this conference. I guess. Like
yeah, I agree.
so, I don't know. Would you take USC over Oregon? I think I would, even though I lost to Utah.
Where is the where's the conference championship played?
It
we know?
is Las Vegas, so that's Nevada. So should be an away game for both teams. But
I guess I'll go USC too.
I
Bo
think I'm
Nix
gonna go
ain't the same
USC,
guy
man.
unless he's at home.
I think I'm gonna take USC too, man. They just I don't know. They feel like the biggest threat to me out of the conference. I'd be curious to see
Yeah.
how high they can climb though if they win out.
Well, they
It's like
I was
they
gonna
lost
say,
to Utah, so that's the
they lost to
iffy.
Utah, so I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't think they're
Yeah.
doing it.
No, no,
Like,
I don't.
even if
No,
they
I
have
don't
one
either
loss, I
because
think
I
a
don't.
one-loss Big 12 team is gonna have a
Trying to
better
think
chance.
because I'm trying to think how it would play out. I think they would get in over a one-loss Big 12 team though.
You do? Why?
I
Just
think
the
I
star
don't know.
power?
Yeah,
Yeah, because we're trying to
Probably-
think of, if it's a one-loss TCU versus a one-loss USC, they're gonna put USC in just
yeah, I think so.
for the
Yeah,
brand.
I think so.
That's a good point. Yeah, I guess they still got
Now
a
I'm trying
chance.
to think how it would
Crazy to me.
play out though, because
If Oregon wins, do we think
well,
Oregon is? I don't think they're.
I wouldn't put Oregon in. No. Well, and that being
Yeah.
said, looking at it, I don't know if USC would get in anyway because Michigan or Ohio State's probably going to be there. Clemson's going to be there, and then two of Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama are probably going to be there, unless TCU goes undefeated. Like if you go undefeated, you can jump them. But if you have a loss, I don't see you getting in over a one loss.
Yeah.
Like one of the other
Bama.
ones with a loss. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Well,
so true.
I guess it would depend because Bama, assuming everybody has one loss, they would have the SEC championship. So it'd be over Tennessee or Georgia, really,
Yeah.
with the one loss probably. So, well, and that's going to be really interesting because say go down this rabbit hole for a
All
second.
these one-loss teams.
So go down this rabbit hole for a second. Say Tennessee say Georgia beats Tennessee. So Tennessee has a loss, but they don't make the SEC championship. Georgia loses to Bama. Who do you take, Georgia or Tennessee? Because they both have a loss. You know what I mean? Like that'd be
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. You'd probably go head to head, I guess, but that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. If Bama beats
Tennessee
them, that's a
and
big
Georgia
jump.
play each other though, for sure, right?
Yeah, they do, and then
Yeah.
the winner will play Bama in the championship, most likely. I mean, you never know, I guess, but I'd be curious. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
TCU just got to win out, then they'll avoid any issues there. But
Yeah.
but you could have like 5 teams.
But they
there.
won't. They
No,
won't.
They won't. They'll probably end up dropping more than one. So it'll end up being like there'll be like 5 or 6 teams there with one loss. So who do we take?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That'd be interesting. All right, so Pac-12, we're both taking USC.
Oregon versus USC,
Okay.
and I guess I'll just say Oregon just to be different.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hey,
I feel like-
I wouldn't expect us to be the same on all these, but we are so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. Maybe I just say because USC and UCLA still have to play, right?
And now, yeah. So if UCLA wins, UCLA's in.
Let's just say UCLA, and then I'll take UCLA, even though
All right.
I don't super believe in them. I do think I would want them in over an Oregon team.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
gonna
I'm
say
with you. Okay.
UCLA. That way I can root for them and not have to root for Oregon.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So I'll take
All right.
USC out of the Pac-12 then. All right.
Okay.
So now we're on to the SEC. All right, so the layout right now, let's see. The SEC West, you've got Alabama with 1 loss, LSU with 1 loss, and Ole Miss with 1 loss, all in the West. Then in the East, you've got Georgia and Tennessee at the top, who are both undefeated. Then South Carolina and Kentucky have 2 losses. So it's really between Georgia and Tennessee probably on the East. And then the West, Alabama, Ole Miss, and LSU are the top 3. Which
I'm
actually
gonna
might be some interesting games, man. Just saying.
Yeah,
Like,
LSU,
LSU and Bama will be a good
play
game.
next.
That'd be a good
They
game.
play next, so hopefully LSU can stick with them. We'll actually know more
We'll
about
see.
LSU. Here
Yeah.
shortly, but if you're losing to Florida State, normally you don't beat Bama.
Sure.
But
Very true.
we shall see. Especially now that Bama's got their loss out of the way.
Yeah, you don't got any more wiggle room now, so now it's time to
I
to
think
lock in.
I'm not gonna be fun, and I think it's gonna be Bama, Georgia, and I think Bama's gonna beat them.
Man. Well, we continue the trend of being similar on this because that was my same
You
exact
think
thought.
that?
I
Yeah.
don't know on Tennessee, Georgia. Tennessee, Georgia, I'm not sure on, but Bama, I think
I think I'll root for Tennessee. I just
Yeah.
want different blood in there, and I like the
I-
idea of having Tennessee
I don't
playing
know.
Bama again.
The way
but-
Tennessee looks, I think they can beat Georgia.
Oh, I think they can too.
I'm
I
curious
just
to
don't
see
think they
on.
will.
Yeah, right. I'll take Bama, Tennessee in the championship, and I'll take Alabama. I'm
Yeah.
with you. I'm with
Alright,
you on that,
I'll-
man. I'm with you.
I'll take Georgia,
Okay,
but I think it's gonna
alright.
be Georgia. I think it's gonna be Georgia, Bama.
Okay, I got you.
And this Bama team just makes way more mistakes than they used to.
No,
I
and they
think
do,
Georgia
and I
can
wouldn't be
capitalize on that.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Bama drops another game, and where this
I
doesn't
would
even
be
matter,
surprised.
because
I rarely do we see them lose 2
I don't
games. I
think
think
they
I've seen
will.
it once in the last
This is just the most
years.
penalized team ever. I think they said under
Oh,
Saban.
man.
So it's like
And they make other
at a
mistakes
certain
too,
at a
fumble the
certain
ball out
point
more.
at a certain point, you have that many mistakes. When you play the good teams, it's like you're gonna drop one of these eventually.
Yeah, so I guess all right, so I'm picking Georgia and you're picking Bama?
I'll take Bama. Yeah.
Okay, that's a safe play. But not as safe this year. I'll give you that. Not as safe.
No, yeah. I don't know.
All right. Big 12, our conference here for now.
All right, on to the Big 12.
From the SEC.
Yeah, for now.
So we got the TCU obviously undefeated, and then Oklahoma State has 1 loss in the Big 12. K-State has 1 loss in the Big 12. Longhorns have 2, but y'all have 3 wins, and no one else has 3 wins in the Big 12. So
I didn't realize Baylor only had 2 losses. If they wouldn't have lost to West Virginia, man.
no, if they don't
did,
lose to
though.
West Virginia, they're in there. Yeah, they're in the spot that they expected to be. They're 5-2.
Yeah. Man, this one, I don't know, because it seems like it could go a ton of different ways, because it's there's a big log jam. So, like, Tech and up, I would say, still have the possibility of making the championship, because all you got to do is beat one of the teams above you and you're fine. Because, like, nobody's played or most teams haven't played two of the teams. Like, so you have a chance.
Tech has already lost to Oklahoma State and Kansas State. So we would have to have.
So you got to beat. Okay.
We would have to have them.
So you'd have to have TCU lose to somebody else, or one of them lose to somebody else. Okay, I got you.
As I say, they would have to both lose.
Okay.
And we would have to beat TCU to have a chance.
Okay, I got you.
But because we have the tiebreaker over y'all, but y'all already have 2 losses also.
Yeah, and we haven't played Kansas State or TCU. So, and we have a bye this week, so you'll catch up on the win column.
In a weird way, I would. Yes, exactly. Hopefully, in a weird way, y'all can win some of these games to help us out.
Yeah,
if we actually have a chance. I don't think we do, but
knock off TCU and Kansas State for you.
But
man, this one, This one's tough.
I think it's going to be Kansas State and TCU.
Man, I would get crazy here, but I think I'm going to take Oklahoma State and TCU probably for a rematch in the championship. Kansas State, I don't know if I'm curious to see how long Martinez is out. Because if he's out, I don't know. I feel like they might be a different team.
Oh, that's a good point.
Which he was. I think he's fine.
I was going to say because I didn't even see him get hurt. So.
Yeah, and I think he was on the sideline, helmet on, pads on. So I think he's should be back probably, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing. I haven't seen anything come out either. Like what's wrong with him? So I don't.
What I want to happen though is I want Tech to be playing TCU in the championship, so we can beat them twice. That'd be awesome.
It'd be nice. You have to get some help for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you had.
So I think I had TCU, K-State.
Okay.
And I think K-State's going to win it.
All right. And I had TCU, Oklahoma State. Sorry, TCU. I wish I could pick you. I wish you could be in the playoff, but I think I'm going to have to go Oklahoma State, man. That TCU, I don't know. Hopefully TCU. I'd be all right with TCU winning. That way we can get a Big 12 in the playoff, get a Big 12 team in the playoff. But
if we already lost them, but I cannot root for them right now because I just can't.
Hey, Duggan's balling, man. I don't know. TCU.
Duggan is balling. And Johnston is a good receiver that I'd never heard of until this year. And now I'm like, this guy might be a pro.
Good. Yeah. I don't know. I hope they make the playoff, but I don't know. Big 12 is such a gauntlet, man. I don't know.
And I guess what we're hearing is neither of us believe in TCU.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, they haven't done anything not to make me believe, but, let me see.
They just keep hurting quarterbacks. You can't hurt a quarterback every single time you play.
Like they had to make a big comeback on Oklahoma State. So that's kind of why I think Oklahoma State can beat them because they had to make a huge comeback on Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
and
they had to make a comeback on K-State.
Yeah, and besides Oklahoma State, they haven't. Everybody's had their quarterback out. Everybody missed. Well, and Sanders was even iffy. Like he was out all week practice. So I don't know. I hope I'm wrong on that because I'd love to see a Big 12 team in the playoff. That's not Oklahoma for once, Not that I'm an Oklahoma hater, but I just mean somebody, a new blood.
No, I agree. Yeah. You're a Texas fan. You're allowed to be an Oklahoma hater.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not though. Yeah, like I'm fine with them making the playoff. I just want a Big 12 team in the playoff. So,
yeah, representing our competition.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. Hopefully I'm wrong on that.
I think the real question is, do we think Kansas makes a bowl game? They got to just win one more.
I think they can win. I don't know who do they got left. I think they can win one more, but they've already played Oklahoma.
They play Oklahoma State, then they play at Tech, and then they play Texas, and then they play Kansas State.
Oh, it's gonna be tough. So they've got to win one more, right?
was gonna say the most winnable game there, I think, is
It's
Tech
Texas.
at
It's
Tech.
Texas or Tech. I think. Yeah, it's one of those two.
I just don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna win a bowl
Man,
game.
uh, I don't know if they will. Man, that's gonna be tough to win one of those. That's a tough.
They
That's
needed
a
to
tough.
beat Oklahoma.
That's a tough 4 teams right there. Dang. Oh, I'm gonna say no. I don't see them
Yeah,
winning one of those, man.
it
Oh
sucks for
man, I don't
them.
see them winning one of those. It'll have to be one of the last 3. I don't see them beating Oklahoma State, but maybe if Adrian Martinez is still out, but I don't think he will be by then.
No,
Uh,
K
man,
State will roll 'em. If Tech was playing at Kansas, I think
maybe.
they'd have
Yeah.
a better shot. But I still think that at home we haven't lost this
If
year. So
Texas wouldn't have lost to Kansas last year, I'd say they'd won that one. But they got that out of the way. I think. I don't think they'll. I don't think they'll lose this year.
I don't think so either.
They got that one out of the way last year. They should have saved
Yeah,
the year.
that sucks for them.
Dang, that's
but
gonna be tough. 5-0.
just lose
So
the
they
rest
gonna
of them.
did they start 5-0?
Yeah, they started 5-0.
They're gonna end
They're
on a
ranked.
7-game losing streak.
Losing streak. Yeah.
Jesus, jeez, that sucks right there.
Yeah.
Coach is definitely leaving after that. It's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
we had a good run.
I've had enough of losing.
We had
Yeah.
a good run. I can go lose 7 games for more money in Nebraska
That's
or
so
Wisconsin,
true.
whatever. Dang, man, that's tough.
All right. Well, you want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up, man. Ready to, I don't know, ready for next weekend already.
Me too. It's fun. The season's flying by, man. We're over halfway over.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're
Sucks.
getting there, man. That's what they're saying. The playoff rankings will come out this week, so we'll see how they'll adjust them on that one. Not that it means anything right now, but still can kind of
Yeah.
see where they got everybody. I'm sure TCU will get a little more disrespect or something. They'll make me a little mad. They'll be like 12 or something instead of 7. But
Yeah.
nah, I don't think it'll be possible this year. I think they got to be 7, honestly. So I don't know. They do some iffy stuff, man. I don't know. Sometimes the committee. So
Yeah. These rankings don't mean anything other than just some television.
yeah, just give us something to talk about. But
All right. Well, enjoyed it. Glad having you back. Next week, maybe we'll get some more entertainment stuff. This week's a little slow. I think we need to watch Black Adam still. So
yeah.
catch y'all next time. Thanks for listening. Rate us 5 stars. You know the drill. Later.